Hey, welcome to video number 195 of Walker This Way with Hazel Walker, the queen of all things. I'll wait.
This is B&I and networking, but not designing t-shirts.
Well, it's the Bug Tussle retreat looks great.
Thank
And we'll
you.
leave it at that. Who do you know that is a graphic designer?
I know, right?
Yes. All right, so let's bring everybody back here. Hazel Walker, new backdrop, new backdrop, new backdrop.
I know, I really like it. It's nice and bright. And it's perfect
Right?
because I wore red and white today. It matches
did.
this.
Yeah. So we're going to go forward with our new look. We've had a few looks since we started. Well, our
Yeah.
very first 5 videos were at the coffee place. I had a green shirt. We're outside, people and trucks going by, a lot of noise. So we've come a long way.
Yeah, we have. We've got pictures of us in parks and in office and every place.
But this is a great segue actually, because one thing that is hard is coming a long way, like the transitions and the changes, which brings me to this point. You know what else is hard?
What?
Adulting. Adulting is hard.
I know I have a t-shirt that says, nope, no more adulting today.
Yeah. I'm 56, haven't figured out the adulting thing yet. It's hard.
It is hard, and so children are like so excited to grow up and be adults, and then they get to be adults and they're like, oh, can I just move back home?
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do this adulting thing.
Right.
I'm 66. I struggle to do the adulting.
Yeah. I mean, there's this piece about never wanting to grow up and doing all those things, which is great. And then how does that carry into like what we're doing in business and entrepreneurs and building business and B&I and building relationships? There is a piece of adulting that's required.
There is a lot. Actually, there's a lot of adulting
There's a
that
lot of
has to
adulting.
happen in a B&I chapter.
And a lot of times we don't see that sometimes the adulting is missing, let's say, in some situations.
Yeah, and that's not just inside B&I. That's
No.
when you're in business, A, you're representing a business because you're working for them, or B, you are the business, like it's your business and you're running your business. There's a lot of adulting has to go with that. And I know it's right around leaders. We're going to start leadership team training next week, right? So it's been frustrating getting everybody in the roles so that we can move forward with the training, right? So that's been difficult because people are just not paying attention, right? They're not paying attention and they don't see emails or they don't see something. And, then they're like, well, we didn't know. Well, if you didn't know this, because you're not opening emails, because 2 times a week, all this information is going out since May.
Yeah, for months now.
Right? So the adult thing to do would be either read the email or have someone read it out loud to the whole chapter, one or the other. Figure that out. That's part of adulting. But really, adulting comes to responsibility.
Yeah.
Really, when we say adulting, because now that I'm adult, I have all the responsibility and all the consequences. Right? There's no one there to fix it for me. And as I have struggled to have doing adult things, I don't want to be doing everybody else's adulting for them.
Right.
Right. So you see this in B&I chapters. Where I see this the most is when I hear people say, oh, he's giving me or she's giving me leads, not referrals. Or I've given them several referrals. I know they've closed, but they're not turning in the thank you for closed business because my numbers aren't reflecting it. Mm-hmm. Right? So they'll come to me or they'll come to you or to the directors and tell us this. But my response is always, well, when you had a conversation with Mark about that, what did he say? And inevitably their response is, well, I haven't had a conversation with him about it. Oh, well, how are you going to fix it then? Because I can't fix it for you. This is adulting. This is your responsibility, right? It's your responsibility to go have an adult conversation with that person and just say, hey, Mark, I gave you a couple referrals. I know they've closed. But there's nothing reflecting the thank you for closed business. Have you turned that in for me?
Yeah.
And would you, because my success is driven by your entering the right data. Right? If I'm giving you referrals and I'm passing a lot of referrals and no one's turning in thank yous, it looks like I'm passing paper, and
Yeah.
I don't want to look like that.
The optics aren't good.
The optics are not good for
Hurts your
me.
credibility.
Yeah. So I need you to be responsible when I give you a referral to please turn into thank yous as soon as possible.
You know, in BNI, we actually have adulting in the core values. It's one of the core values is adulting, but it says accountability. But it
Yeah.
means the same thing.
That's
Like
it. That's
taking
why we don't like adulting, isn't it?
Right.
'Cause we
I mean,
gotta
nobody
be
really wants to be
accountable.
held accountable. Let's be real.
Right. Because our actions have a reaction,
Yeah.
right? If your action is you're giving leads and this person's getting lead, their reaction is they're upset, but they have to then react by going to you and having an adult, civil, calm conversation.
Yeah.
Go into the conversation as if they don't know.
Right.
It's the adulting way to do it. But there seems to be more of a fear of talking to each other.
Right.
I'm afraid they're going to get mad. Well, not if you approach it the right way.
Mm-hmm. It's not an accusatory thing out of the gate.
Yeah, we're not saying that you should confront them.
Yeah.
Because what is confronting? That's very confronting.
I mean, I have a situation, let's say with our support team, when members or chapters or leadership teams will come to me and go, so-and-so director isn't doing things, and on and on. Now I can react to that director and go, hey, you're not doing what and this has happened every single time when I start investigating and I start reading, I went, oh, that's not necessarily the case.
Right, getting more
You
information.
need some information, but then I can have an informed conversation with both sides.
Yeah.
Rather than reactionary one that's going to go downhill right away.
Right. And that has taken a long time for me to learn, because I am a quick reaction.
You and me both, and you and I have both been in some situations in the past years where we reacted and then went, oh.
I found myself, this is perfect. I found myself yesterday, someone sent an email and I was immediately typing up my reaction to it. And I went, I better call Pat.
Yeah.
Let me call Pat and see if she's her. And I called Pat and she goes, oh, that's laying right here on my desk. Yeah, I've got it all sorted. I've sent them a couple emails. This is where we're at. And this is what I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't send that email.
Right.
Right? Because my reaction was to respond immediately with the energy that I felt. Right. And that energy was probably wouldn't have been so helpful in the fact that they were already down the road with this.
Right.
So yeah, not reacting in a confronting way, but really listening to one another and asking what's stopping you from putting that in, and how can I help you do that, and would a reminder help? Whatever, figure it out, but have adult conversation. That's what also leads to great referrals, is when you can have really good adult conversations with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And not, if we're in a BNI chapter together, we should trust each other enough to be able to have these hard conversations that feel uncomfortable in a positive and supportive way.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing in the being positive and supportive. So it's a code of ethic. Positive and supportive does not mean don't be truthful and real.
Right.
Right. That's not what it says at all. Be positive and supportive. And if there is like some pretty heavy topics, still talk about them, but not in an accusatory and an aggressive
Blaming
way. Blaming way.
Yeah. Right. Because I've learned I have to take a lot of that responsibility myself. Right. If one of my team members give wrong information, that's my responsibility.
Yeah.
Because I'm responsible for all the training.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my responsibility. And then once I can take that responsibility, now I can have an adult conversation with that person and say, I'm really sorry. I probably haven't done a good enough job training you on this particular topic, and let me help you.
Yeah.
Right, and taking responsibility. So that's part of it. Take responsibility and have hard conversations with one another in a positive and supportive way. And that's what you got to keep in mind. It's a hard conversation, but we're going to have it in a positive and supportive way.
So, for our members and the people who listen, I think where we're pointing is this is a great self-check moment for all of us, for myself, for Hazel as well, is how do we show up, and are we adulting? Are we taking accountability, or are we avoiding and blaming? Like, what is our go-to? And then we can start to work on shifting it a little piece at a time.
Yeah, what we don't want you to do, which is what I recommended to somebody yesterday, just stick your tongue out at them and walk away and walk off.
Yeah.
That's not adulting.
No, it'd be fun, but
That's
might
like,
not
look,
be the
be
right
fun.
response. Yeah.
Just stick your tongue out and walk away.
Yeah.
That's not
So-
adulting. We don't advise it.
Right. So we have lots of lots of opportunities, especially if we talk in adulting and conflict in your chapters. There's ways to go about it. Number one is always going face to face with the person and having an adult conversation about it.
Constructive, positive, and supportive.
Absolutely. And then take it from there.
Yep. But adulting is hard.
All right. And this last 10 minutes or so of adulting has been really tough for me. So I'm now going to go back after to my regular programming.
All righty.
All right, Hazel Walker, till next time.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.